We talked about this before in regards of if you want to do something that you've never done before, you have to be someone that you've never been before. And I always like to go back to Bryan Stevenson on this. He's a lawyer who created the EJI, the Equity Justice Initiative. And he talks about people that were born into slavery. They had to imagine or ideate or creatively piece together a reality where they were not enslaved. And that obviously is a very brutal, almost simplified example. But for you, the idea is that you are in a situation that perhaps you have not even envisioned yourself outside of it. And we saw this happen with the 4-minute mile. Once somebody broke a 4-minute mile, many other people did because they were able to see somebody else do it. And in watching somebody else break the 4-minute mile, oh, well, then clearly I can do it. And many times we follow what is possible by the 3D. Well, I see it done, well, I'm gonna go do it. As opposed to, let me envision it within and then go and accomplish it. And it is exceedingly not easy, but it is simple to do. There's a gentleman on TikTok who talks about this. He says, it's not easy, but it is simple. Don't overcomplicate it. And envisioning yourself outside of the reality that you have right now, what we're going to give to you in this video is something I hope that you'll write down and just take note of. We have it right here. You cannot step into your new life if you're still being loyal to the energy of your past. Girl, what? My goodness. I mean, being loyal to the energy of your past is such a real thing because we think, it's the one that got us to the dance. It's this idea of, well, we got to keep doing the old thing to achieve this new thing. When in reality, you have to do something new, and to do something new, you have to become something new. Be, do, have. You have to become something new to achieve the new life that you want. And the 3 things that we'll go over that you may need to shed, I'm never going to tell you what to do here. I'll tell you what I did and what I believe is the best, but I'll never tell you what to do. But 3 things that you may need to do. The first thing in getting into your new life by not being loyal to the energy of your past. First off, before we get into the 3 things, I just want to get into very quickly being loyal to the energy of your past, what that means. It's the idea of our beliefs are centered upon this idea that this is the energy that we need to keep going forward. And the issue is that as we go forward, that energy can keep us in that space, keep us right in there. And so we believe that because we're interacting with that energy, and it got us there, that, hey, we're going to be able to ascend. When in reality, it's the energy that's keeping us there. Yes, it may have gotten us there, but we might need to go to a different place after that. And when you're being loyal to that old energy, or the energy of your past, that loyalty looks like many different things, and many times we don't even understand how we're being loyal to it, or what we're contributing to it, or how we're tacitly complicit with this old energy. And we need to mark where we are being loyal to this energy. And then we'll get into another video of how to step into the new life. But a lot of times stepping into a new space just means cutting ties with the old energy and opening up space. People really, really, like myself, we get enamored with this idea of, oh, what's the new thing I have to do? What do I need to take on to get there? Oh, watch is coming off. What do I need to achieve? What is the new trick I need to do? Or And it's, in reality, it's cutting ties with the old energy and leaving space for something new to happen. And how it's going to happen may entirely not be up to you. But leaving space for it to happen is where the magic occurs. That's really where it all happens. And the saying, let go and let God, it's tough. So just simple surrender. Just surrendering, just like, is tough. People think surrendering is giving up, when in reality, surrendering is saying that you are capable and there's no need for you to entirely control or have, both hands on the wheel and, be in the, like, there's sometimes you just got to let go and let universe, just let it be what it's going to be. And some of the three things that we may have to do to disconnect with this old energy, or being loyal to this old energy. One is, what are the old stories that we're carrying? Disconnecting with the old stories that we're carrying. This is the first thing. What are the stories that you've told yourself? What are the rules that you've been abiding by, that the rules that you made, not not laws that were made up by your county or your city or federal elected officials, but what are the stories that you have been living by and telling yourself, well, this is the way things need to be because this is just the way things are. An old story that I used to tell myself was, I needed to have an entire script to make these videos. No, I don't. Yeah, these videos are best when it's off the cuff, when I'm just being as purely authentic as I can be. I had an old story where I thought I needed to edit all these videos, and I had the coolest thumbnails and whatnot, and I would hire out these people to edit, and they would do a great job, amazing job. It was incredibly expensive, but it was also a rule that I had, a story that I thought that to do these videos, I thought, well, I have to have somebody edit them. No, I don't. I can just have a fade in and fade out. And stories are bigger than that. Like for me, another one was, my father is the villain of my life. I had that story in my head. How'd I get there? Why did I live by that? What are the shackles that puts on me when I'm in that story? How does that story limit me in everything I do? Is that story true? No, I don't think it is. I had to shed that old story to get into the new life. And I thought that all things could be achieved through resentment of my father, through resentment of certain people. And by holding on to that resentment, it just held me back. And so I had to shed that to go forward. The second thing is old beliefs, shedding old beliefs. And beliefs are tough. I think in my experience, beliefs are tougher to locate and spot than stories. Stories are spinning in your head all the time. Beliefs are, it's almost, I would say that, like, stories are what's on top of the table, beliefs are the legs to the table. And it's hard to even notice the legs of a table. You're not ever looking at them, you're not checking them, and sometimes looking at them, you might think everything will topple over if you switch out a leg. And so beliefs are, what are the beliefs I've been holding to? What are the beliefs that I have been telling myself or that were given to me? And I said, oh, yeah, I guess this is it. This is true. That a 4-minute mile is impossible. I believe that. Well, then how does that limit me? How does that limit my workout? How does that limit my approach to races? I remember I had this belief that this certain gentleman in high school was just faster than me. And that was it. We would go at it in the 300 hurdles in high school, 400 hurdles in the summer. And there was one race where I ran a faster time. Now, because my beliefs were aligned with this man was faster than me, I disbelieved that I ran a faster time. And it was the weirdest thing because here was evidence that I ran faster than this guy. And I didn't really believe it. So no, that's not true. That can't be real. So that was in prelims, and then in the finals, he beat me. I aligned with my belief. I said, oh no, there's no way. And he beat me. And the idea is the beliefs are so pernicious and sneaky. Like they sit with us and we don't even know they're there. Again, like legs under the table. And it's important to understand that your beliefs are your lens. It's the lens that you see life through. And when you change that, Wayne Dyer, when you change the way you look at everything, everything changes. And so if you can begin to take inventory of two beliefs, just take inventory of it. I'm not asking you to change them. I'm not asking you to shed them. Just get inventory of two beliefs. Find out what can change for you in just noticing them. When you begin to notice them, I can only make this amount of money. I only audition for commercials. I don't really do feature films. Really? Oh, really? Okay. Oh, I could never achieve this project with that budget. Oh, really? Really? When you look at, I think Robert Rodriguez is a great example in this book, One Man Crew. And he talks about, I think it was, he made Mariachi by himself. And I laugh at this because it becomes comical at a certain point. And it's not because it's humorous to me in the way that, oh, this is so funny that people, believe that they could do something. It's humorous that people believe they couldn't do something, that you couldn't achieve the project you wanted to get done, that you couldn't achieve the relationship that you wanted to have with yourself or somebody else, that you couldn't achieve a physical feat. And really, it does become comical because we are the only ones holding ourselves back in those situations. And I think it's extremely important to take note or inventory of that. And the last thing, the third thing that you may need to do to step into a new life and cease being loyal to the energy of your past is taking inventory of the friends that you have around you, the people that you have around you. There's a saying, if you hang out with 9 people that, use X substance or are addicted to X substance, you'll be the 10th. If you hang out with 9 bank robbers, you'll probably rob a bank. If you hang out with 9 people that love to go canoeing on the Boundary Waters, you'll probably be the 10th. It's neither here nor there. It's negative or positive. The company you keep around you is somewhat, very integral and impactful to your identity. And whoever you are around is going to impact your identity. You might identify with some of the activities they do. And if you're being loyal to this energy of the past, how can you even break ties with it if you're still around the people that maintain that same energy? And this is the toughest part. And sometimes it's not breaking free or it's telling people, hey, go take a hike, whatever. It may just be, we need to change this connection. This connection needs to change. I can't be in touch with you all the time. I can't be available to you all the time. I can't be accessible for you all the time. I can't be responding to you the day of. And I think that's really important. And then once you free that space up, then the magic occurs and you're accessible to other things. It's just a reality. It's just how it works. You have to leave space for the magic to happen. You have to leave space for the new life to step in. You cannot have the new life by being loyal to the energy of the past. You cannot have new things by not having new energy. Like, you have to become somebody different to get something different. And that could be going backwards or forwards, up or down. It really depends. And to give you a story at the end of this is purely, we were just talking about this a few days ago. So I used to go to a certain gym, and I would go to the gym, and I grew up as an athlete, and I love running, love swimming. Was pretty good at team sports, but I just loved being an athlete. And I would go to the certain gym, and I would maintain a certain physique. COVID hit, everything shut down, gym shut down. Gym actually entirely shut down, never reopened again. And so what happened was I had to go to a new gym. And I go to this new gym, and the people there are at another level of working out. you can just see, like, by the physical, like just the amount of weights like in the room, like the amount of weight people were lifting was way heavier. The amount of free weights there were way more accessible, and it was a different gym. It was on another level. And what happened? My body started to change, acclimate with the gym. I began lifting heavier. I began pushing my limitations further. I began taking my eating, my diet more seriously. I began figuring out, okay, what am I putting into my body that's making me feel certain ways? And nobody at the gym said, you should do this, this, and this. It just was me being around that made things different. And it was the same thing for film. When I got a year and a month long film gig from 2014 to 2015, I was around all these people that were just at the top of their game. I'm talking the top of their game in the city that I worked in and nationally. And once I got out of there, I never looked at film the same. I never went back to making films the way that I once did. I said, if we're gonna do this, we gotta have a light truck. I need somebody that can light. We have to make this the right way. And by proxy, I abandoned the old energy. I said, I gotta try something new. And it happened very, very simply. It wasn't anything that I pushed. Now, it took time, obviously, but I had to also identify what around me was loyal to the old energy and then move on or change that relationship. So in the comments below, if there is any, if you can name one thing that is holding you loyal to old energy, I'm curious what it is. I'm absolutely curious what it is, because I've given you several examples of my life, but what can we learn about each other in the comments? Just like, what is being loyal to old energy? Like, once we mark it, then I believe people can move forward. So I wish you the best of luck of that. We will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for tuning in. Goodbye for now.